I just want you to stop whatever you're doing, settle in, and get set to watch this Junior Babe Ruth Championship game as we get the starting lineups. First for post 31 in the red uniforms, Troy Davin out there. Now Ryan Hammond coming out. And I'll just go through the whole lineup for you as you see him coming out and getting introduced. But Brian O'Rourke's number 5. Kyle Samersky will wear number 8. Nate Swan will be the starting pitcher today for post 31. He'll be number 10. Charles Gardner will be the extra hitter, EH. He'll wear number 19. Greg Roy will wear number 9. Mike Triller will wear number 2. 16 will be Max Battles. Jordan Grenier will be 13. 22 will be Robert Garuso. Matt Messier will be number 15. Steve Tile wears 4. And Cody Badgley will wear number 17. And that's going to be the post 31 squad in this Junior Babe Ruth Championship game at St. Petersfield. And they will be coached by Rick Battles. And I see Coach Davin down there. Coach Rourke was down there earlier. And they'll be taking on Rutland Town. So it's Rutland Town taking on Rutland City post 31. Again, perfect day for baseball. Temperatures in the low 80s. There's a slight breeze blowing. There's a high sun. Well, it shouldn't really bother the fielders right now. It's the 2 o'clock start time. You're watching Channel 15, Munger Vision, PEGTV. And we're bringing you this community event right now on public access television. And you can go to the website at PEGTV.com. and get schedule information and any other information you need. And you can also go to Sam's Good News. He has the schedules for all 3 channels, Channel 15, Channel 20, Channel 21. You see the coaching staff coming out now. And that is post 31 in this Junior Babe Ruth Championship game. There's the commissioner. Jamie will read off now for Rutland Town in the dark blue uniforms. They're going to come out, Matt Consolati. Again, I'll just lock it down and read through the roster as they come out. And this is big-time stuff. I mean, you're at St. Petersfield, the best baseball field in the state of Vermont. You're playing on in front of a big crowd. You're on public access television. You're being introduced in front of the fans, which there are a lot of fans here. This is great attendance. But we already mentioned Matt Consolati will wear number 12. Mike Howe will wear number 8. Number 6 will be Mike McMahon. Eric Mack will wear 11. Joe Garrow will be the starting pitcher, will wear number 5. Ben Senecal, number 4. Drew Allen, number 3. Taylor Booth, number 10. Scott Theriot will be number 9. Nick Pennington will wear 7. And Max Shea will wear 15. Don Howe and Burt McMahon will be the coaching staff for the Rutland Town squad. And I got to tell you, this is going to be a dandy. I was watching both teams warm up. First of all, I know everybody involved in it. I've covered these children at one sport or another, or their siblings and whatever, and I know you got, first of all, you got excellent athletes out there. You got good coaches on both sides. It's going to be a well-umpired game. And rec department's really done a great job in setting the table here, making this a big event, which it is. This is going to be competitive. This is going to be nail-biting. This is going to be like Yankees-Red Sox, because you have the city against the town, and it just doesn't get any better than that. Yeah, and now you see the coaching staff's coming out. So I urge you to stop whatever you're doing, get in a chair, get a cold beverage, sit down, and enjoy this community event, this Junior Babe Ruth Championship baseball game. And you see the teams disperse. The umpires getting set. On the other side of the fade, we will come back, and we'll have the first pitch of the title game. You see Joe Garrow taking his warm-ups. Let's start off the introductions with the rest of the defensive players with his battery mate. The hardest working position in baseball, catcher, will be Mike Howe. Mike McMahon will be down at first base. Taylor Booth is at second. Eric Mack is the shortstop. Matt Consolati will play third. Drew Allen is your left fielder. Ben Senecal is in center field. Scott Theriot is in right field. Now, I watched these teams warm up in the pregame, and I got to tell you, this Rutland Town squad already boasts some great athletes, but they seemed very solid defensively. For Rutland post 31, you'll have Troy Davin in the leadoff spot. Ryan Hammond will hit number 2. And Brian O'Rourke will be the third batter, with Kyle Samersky hitting cleanup. And again, this is for the Junior Babe Ruth Championship. And post 31 in the red uniforms, and I'll keep you reminded of that. At the plate first In the field defensively with the dark blue uniforms will be Rutland Town. That's ball one. We're underway in the championship game. Jerry Munger, Munger Vision, over a decade, almost 11 years now, bringing you community events just like this. And you don't get much more community, red, white, and blue, America, Mother Pie, and all that good stuff than Little League Baseball. Junior Babe Ruth, to be exact. We're above Little League right here. From beautiful St. Peter's Field. And a great diving attempt. The ball will be knocked down. Now flip to the catcher covering the bag. We'll have a 3-1 putout. Nice job all the way around. And I'm telling you, this is going to be, if you love baseball, or if you have a pulse, this is going to be fun. So a 3-1 ground out. It goes from McMahon to Garrow, who covered the bag. And now time for hitter number 2, and he'll take a strike on that inside corner. Ryan Hammond at the plate will be your catcher for post 31 when they come up defensively in the bottom half of the second. That's a big rip at the pitch, goes straight back. And again, if you haven't figured it out by now, the website for PEGTV is a simple one. It's www.pegtv.com. You can also find the schedule information in Sam's Good News. Great pitch, good night, adios, struck him out. First K of the game. Hammond fooled on a curveball, and that's going to be 2 down now. And Brian O'Rourke, the center fielder, coming up for post 31 in those red uniforms. Joe Garrow catching and firing right now. There's strike. Starting off from ahead in the count on all 3 hitters here. Or actually, I believe he started off with a ball to the first hitter, but then got things back his way. Outfield playing straight up. Big swing and a miss, and it'll be an 0-2 count now to O'Rourke. So Garrow looking to have a 1-2-3 first inning of work here in the championship. And he'll just miss on that offering right there, and he'll get past the catcher, Mike Cow, and he'll recover the ball. We'll have a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Bases are clear. If O'Rourke does extend the inning, it'll be Stemersky on deck. A lot of baseball talent on this field. And O'Rourke will turn, and that's going to be a base hit. It'll be picked up, and O'Rourke with that great speed will be down at first base. See him take the aggressive turn, and the first hit of the ballgame, and obviously the first runner of the game. That'll bring up Stemersky, and they'll put Nate Swan on deck for post 31. So Stemersky in that cleanup spot. Bats left. They're holding O'Rourke on defensively down at first base. That creates a little bit bigger hole in first and second. Throw down on the steal and got him. Oh, he came back and he dropped the ball. He overran the bag. He did not slide, and they would have had him if they held the ball. And O'Rourke catching a break right there. Rule number 1 is you got to slide in there to elongate the tag, which gives you more time and also keeps you like a break from sliding over the bag, overrunning the bag and being tagged. So a runner in scoring position. And that's going to be hit down to first. And oh, what a play by McMahon over at first base, robbing him of a single. And we'll have a scoreless top half of the first. So you watch Nate Swan, number 10, take his final warm-up. Going to have Ryan Hammond behind the plate doing the catching for post 31. At first base will be Max Battles. Jordan Grenier will be at second. Troy Davinger, shortstop. Kyle Stemersky's at third base. Greg Roy is your left fielder. Brian O'Rourke's in center. Mike Triller will be your right fielder. Good defensive plays in that first inning, top half of this first inning. You're going to see the same thing here from post 31, and it'll be Matt Consolati leading off, followed by Mike Cow, Mike McMahon, and then in the cleanup spot, Eric Mack. And I said it in the senior Babe Ruth Championship game. That's going to be a ball. And I'll say it throughout this junior Babe Ruth Championship game. Many, many, many of these names are extremely familiar to you from other sporting venues. Like all of today's athletes, they play different sports, and they play them all extremely well. And when I look through that lineup, I see a lot of basketball and hockey players out there. And we're going to watch Nate Swan working to Consolati. Playing 7, at least 7. We'll see. There's a beautiful pitch for a strike. If we're tied up at the end of 7, you know what? We'll just keep on going until we have a winner. This is a championship game. Again, the Rutland Rec doing a great job with this whole venue, and then Mount St. Joseph Academy's Athletic Association by allowing him to be here at St. Peter's Field. You couldn't get a better combination for the big-time, big league atmosphere that you're watching right now, and then you mix in a little Munger vision with it, and you got a pretty good recipe for a dynamite afternoon of baseball. And Swan, with that big leg kick, will come in there and will induce the swing, and it'll make it come back. I believe we have a full count right now. Outfield straight away, not favoring left or right field. Battles over even with the bag at first. In on the grass is Samirsky at third, and that's going to be popped up, and it'll carry out of play. And actually, yeah, it'll be over on River Street, so the rec department number, so you can get signed up for fall and winter programs, is 773-1822. And that is going to be a base hit. That could hit the gap. O'Rourke trying to cut it off from just that happening. We'll get there on the backhand turn, and there's going to be a play down at second base, and he's going to be in there. And he slides in with a double to get things started off. And Rutland Town, in the bottom of the first, have Consolati out there with a double. Good hustle by both players, by O'Rourke getting to the ball in the gap and by Consolati getting to second base. Now Mike Howe, your catcher, up at the plate. That means Swan will go to the stretch. And it's a nice stop on a pitch low one inside by the catcher, Ryan Hammond. Rutland post 31 in the field defensively with the red uniforms on, and Rutland Town at the plate with those dark blue uniforms on. And I tell you what, if you got an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes of time, just chill out, enjoy the ball game. If you miss it or turn on and see half of it, just give Channel 15 a call, 747-0151. They'll set you right up with when you can see it again. Great pitch, strike one. Nice action on the ball, a lot of movement on the pitch, and it'll come in. You're watching the Junior Babe Ruth Championship game. Glad I'm here. Hope you're enjoying all the baseball and softball action brought to you throughout this spring and summer season. There goes the runner, and it's a bunt. They got the runner over to third base, one play to first, and nice scoop at first base by Battles. I like the thought here. I don't think you're going to see a blowout. I don't think you're going to see a 10-9 game and things like that. And they bunted the runner over to third base with nobody down. Or over to third base now with one down on the sacrifice, and Mike McMahon up, your first baseman. Remember, McMahon had that great scoop to end the top half of the first defensively. He'll swing through that breaking ball, and that's going to be strike one. Like I said, watching the warm-ups by both teams, one thing that just impressed me so much at this age level was the fundamentals were there, the skills were there, but then the fantastic that extra talent you see, that natural ability to scoop the ball, throw the ball, have that baseball instinct, nice like that right there by the catcher. Good job by Hammond to pick that up and not allow that pitch to get by. So Nate Swan trying to work out of a runner at third base, one out jam in the bottom of the first. Post 31 did have a base runner, Brian O'Rourke, in the top half of this inning. And that fastball came in high. There's a very spirited crowd here, and both dugouts are pumped up right now. The bottom of the first, scoreless game. There will be a brief trophy ceremony at the conclusion of this contest, and I will keep it right here for you to watch. That's popped up, and see if he's going to be able to come in. No, it's going to drop between them. That's going to allow the first run of the game to come in, and to play down at second. You see the runner coming into second, so you saw the score, and then the runner at second, and that ball hung up there. And he just had a bad break on the ball. Will drop in, and we'll have an RBI for McMahon. So 1-0, and Eric Mack up. Now, speaking of names, I'm very familiar with. Eric Mack is an outstanding hockey player. I get to see him down at Raha for the Fieldhouse in Mandigo, and I was watching him play shortstop out here in the warm-ups, and I couldn't believe, because I thought from watching him play so many years in hockey that had to be his thing. He's a darn good shortstop, let me tell you that. He's a lefty up there, and he's got another hockey buddy with him on his team, and Taylor Booth. He had him at second base, and Booth, of course, a very good athlete himself. But 1 run in, 1 down, runner at second. Rutland Town with the lead here in the bottom of the first. And Nate Swan will look in, get the sign, set the target up. Hammond wants to pitch inside. And that will drop outside. A good scoop again by Hammond on a pitch that came up short in the dirt. And like I've said before, you're watching tomorrow's future baseball stars that you'll see probably at the high school level, and love to see them at the Legion baseball level. Right now today, you see them at the junior Babe Ruth level. And that'll be a wild pitch, and that'll allow the runner to head down to third base with that 1 out. Oh, and it was a walk, and the runner started to go to second. They will go back to third, and boy, nice play as far as that was a walk. Mackin's up at second base. So second and third, and Joe Garrow, the pitcher, up now with a chance to help his cause and drive in a couple more runs. I've just heard the coach for Rutland Town say tag up on a fly ball. Of course, he means out of the infield, and that's going to be strike 1 from Nate Swan. Nate Swan, if he's got a strikeout in him right now, would love to ring one up right here. 1 down, and the left fielder, Greg Roy, seems to be playing very deep right now. And 2 low is what the umpire says. So a 1-1 count. And speaking of hockey players, Greg Roy out there, another good hockey player. And I don't know if I did, but I definitely will set the defense again for you. Big swing and a miss on a high heater. That's 2 strikes now on Joe Garrow. Ben Senecal on deck, and you talk about a smooth-looking outfielder. I was watching Senecal in the warm-ups, and the correct form. Oh, it's going to come inside. Nope, it's going to be a ball. He's got the correct form and the right technique when he was catching fly balls with fantastic arm throwing all the way from center field into home base, and he's the on-deck hitter. And Swan, that's going to be hit down to short, and oh, they bobbled it up. Another run will come in, and I'm telling you, I'm not sure if Troy Davin, was thinking come home to cut the runner down, and that's what made him rush the play. But it turns into an error and a run. McMahon will score. Mack will go to third. Garrow will be safe at first, and 2 runs in, and now Ben Senecal, the center fielder, up with a first and third 1-down situation. You can see Hammond come out from his catcher's position and indicate the defensive play here that he wants called. So 2 runs in, and that 1 out. Great pitch. Nice movement on the ball, and it'll be a swinging strike. So a couple doubles, an error, and a sacrifice, and 2 runs for Rutland Town. And Nate Swan going to charge the ball. He wants to go to first base. He's always got a pickle play. Yeah, and there's the throw, and got him! They got him out at third. Nice heads-up play by Swan, chasing the runner back, running right at him, chasing him back to third base, and fired a strike. And not only was it velocity on the throw to third base where they applied the tag by Kyle Semersky, but it was the fact that he put the throw right where the tag had to be. So they get Mack out, and it's 2 down, and Drew Allen up. Senecal's on. I'm going to call that a fielder's choice. Now Senecal, the left fielder, up. And I'll tell you right now, if Rutland post 31 can get out of this jam with just the 2 runs coming in, that would have been a good thing right now, because this had the making of a lot bigger inning. And it's not over yet. Not saying that it won't become a bigger inning. Swings and miss. Again, a high heater coming in. Battles Grenier, Davin, Semersky. That's the infield. Roy O'Rourke Triller. That's the outfield. Hammond, your catcher, and that going to be a throw down to third base. And no, you see the dust kick up and the ball pop free, and Semersky will chase down the ball. On the double steal, you can see the runner at second, the trail runner, able to break from first to second. I like it. I like the aggressive base running. Puts a lot of pressure on your defense. second and third. Takes away the force out. If they were to hit the ball from first to second, you could step on second or third and get the out. Now they've put beautiful pitch. Got him, punched him out. Swan will get the strikeout, but Rutland Town will pick up 2 runs. We'll go to the second. 2-0 Rutland Town. Joe Garrell is going to be looking at Nate Swan, his counterpart up there. They're going to have the first pitch be too far inside, low for a ball. It'll be 1 ball, no strikes. We're in the top of the second of the Junior Babe Ruth Championship game on Channel 15, brought to you by Munger Vision. Joe Garrell, who did give up a base hit to Brian O'Rourke in that first inning, but he also added a strikeout to it. He just faced the 4 hitters. Charles Gardner, the EH, is on deck, and then Greg Roy is on double deck. Post 31 in the red uniforms. Strike, outside corner, great location. In the Senior Babe Ruth Championship game, that's also being seen on Channel 15, it was Rutland City over Rutland Town, 9-0 behind the strong pitching. Joel Rodolfi, and a pretty balanced out offensive attack, but if you had to look for a highlight there, it would be the 2 doubles by Battles in that game. We have another Battles in this game, his brother Max. Good night. Second strikeout. And that one's looking also. Swan on that big breaking ball. Watched it hit the corner, and first out of the second inning. Charles Gardner, the EH, getting his first look at Joe Garrell. Right there, got him. Came inside this time. He's moving the ball around nicely as far as inside, outside, bringing it up, bringing it down, trying to keep the hitters off balance. And you got to remember the age level you're watching here. That's going to be put up, and it's going to be a hard catch coming in. And, oh, did he get it? Oh, he had it and dropped it. Runner's going to stay down at first base. It was a great effort. A tremendous effort. But just when he hit the ground, Drew Allen lost the ball. But I'll tell you what, he almost came up with a highlight play. So runner at first for Greg Roy with 1 down. And Greg Roy, like I said, good old-fashioned hockey player himself. Swinging a bat now, though, in the summertime. I'd like to just congratulate American Legion Post 31, the big boys, on their incredibly successful season, even though they came up short in the Southern Vermont tournament. Just a great season. Had a blast following them yet again this season. Thought Tony Sorelli, the head coach, did a great job, and just wasn't meant to be. And there goes the runner, and throw coming down. It's going to be backed up as it was off target, and we'll have a stolen base, putting a runner in scoring position with 1 down. So Gardner goes down to second base, and Roy now with a chance to pick up an RBI. Oh, great pitch. Great pitch, and that will be strikeout number 2 this inning, 3 for the game, and Mike Triller up, the right fielder. So Triller is going to step in there from the left side with 2 down now. Don't forget, if they're thinking steal, and I'm not saying they are, but if they're thinking steal a third base with that left-handed hitter up, that makes a much easier throw for the catcher to go down to third base. Playing in relatively close on the grass at first, and that's going to be, you see the catcher right there doing a good job. Mike Howe trying to frame the pitch and sneak it down inside the strike zone. Couldn't get the call. It'll be a ball. 2-0 Rutland Town to lead in the top of the second. And that's going to be over the head, and we're going to have an RBI. You see the run coming in, and then the runner coming into view right now will stop with a double. And we've got a 2-1 game, so Gardner will score from second, and Triller will have a double. And Max Battles up now, the first baseman. He'll step in from the left side also. So a chance to get this thing tied up, and Joe Garrell will be high and outside. He started off this inning by striking out Swan. Gardner had to single, then a strikeout of Roy, and then that double by Triller. And it never came back around on the corner for him. It'll be ball 2. The on-deck hitter represents Jordan Grenier, also represents the last batter before they come around to the top of the order again. And that could be and will be, and well, it's going to be caught. But post 31 does collect a run. They cut the lead in half. It goes 2-1 as that's caught out there by Consolati for the third out of the top of the second. On this beautiful afternoon, Nate Swan, the starting pitcher for post 31, faced 7 batters in that first inning where he surrendered out 2 runs. He did have a strikeout, and he's going to be looking at Taylor Booth, Scott Theriot, and Nick Pennington. Taylor Booth, fine athlete. And that's a shot, and that's going to be foul. No, I get to watch Taylor play hockey, and boy, he's got that down real well. Strike 1 on that long foul ball. Strike 2 on that fine pitch. The Junior Bay Blue Championship game. Channel 15's website, PEGTV.com. You give them a buzz at 747-0151. You can thank the rec. Sign up for more programs at 773-1822. He dropped down sidearm. Strike 3 dropped, and he'll throw down and get the out. And Swan showing you a little different look there. Drop down sidearm. And that pitch really started off right at the right-handed hitter and then sailed to the outside portion of the plate. And he's got back-to-back strikeouts going back to when he struck Drew Allen out in the first. Now Scott Theriot up for the first time today, and that's going to be right down the pipe for strike 1. So Swan trying to limit the amount of pitches he throws here in his second inning. Like I said, he faced 7 batters in that first inning, and I know he doesn't want to work that hard throughout the ball game. He's scheduled for 7 innings, and oh boy, got him to go up the ladder and kind of tomahawk chop at that pitch, strike 2. And you can't get a better view than on Channel 15, that center field shot I give you from right in from the press box, football press box. And nice job at getting out of the way by Theriot right there. I mentioned Pennington, the on-deck hitter. He's the EH, and then top of the order back around for Rutland Town. They have 1 out, nobody on base, but they do have the 2-1 lead, and he'll have 3 strikeouts now. Swan, going back to the bottom of the first, struck out Allen. Top of this order, struck out, top of this inning, struck out Taylor Booth. Now he struck out Scott Theriot. Nick Pennington up with the bases clean. 2 down. Not surprising to have a rough first inning in a championship game at this young age level because you kind of got the jitters. You kind of got to settle into the surroundings. And again, the MSA Athletic Association did a great job. There's field's in tremendous condition, as always. Strike 2 on the swing. They've got the hot dogs and hamburgers cooking. You can smell that. Just like a ballpark. You can smell that ballpark food cooking. Got sunshine. You got crowd here, and you got a good baseball game. And there was where he dropped down sidearm. This time he missed badly. It'll be a 1-2 count. He's looking for a 1-2-3 second inning. He's looking to strike out the side in a second. He's looking to push his consecutive strikeouts to 4 in a row. So Nate Swan's got a lot of stuff going on. And the pitch. Got it. He has struck out the side. He struck out 4 in a row, and he will have a 1-2-3 second inning. So Rutland Town's Joe Garrow on the mound. He's going to be looking at Jordan Grenier, and then back around to Troy Davin and Ryan Hammond. That's the umpire out there doing a little landscaping as he cleaned off home base. 2-1 as we go to the third. Rutland Town with the lead, and that's going to be low for a ball. It'll get by the catcher, and Mike Cow will chase it down. You still have Mike McMahon at first base defensively. Taylor Booth still at second. Eric Max, your shortstop. Matt Consolati is at third. Drew Allen, Ben Senecal, and Scott Theriot. That's the outfield for Rutland Town. And boy, that just missed on a close pitch. We will have a ball called. That'll be an 2-0 count. There's post 31 looking to make up some ground here, and there's a strike. Again, scheduled for 7. but it's pretty open-ended. If it's tied, we could be here all night playing. I expect this to be close and a nail-biter. And I don't believe, no, they won't be able to get it. They'll be fouled out of play, and they'll just send everybody back. The catcher will put back on his headgear. The batter will pick back up the bat. And we're good to go. Joe Garrow himself has 3 strikeouts in the ball game. And they are held up on the swing, and there'll be no appeal of it to the umpire. Down on the bases, and good job right there. It was one of those teasing pitches, kind of tease you right there, and he was able to hold back on it. And that time, he'll be put into play down to second base, up, and got him on the 4-3 ground out. Kind of threw a lollipop down there to first, but Taylor Booth will throw to Mike McMahon for the 4-3 ground out, and they'll get Jordan Grenier out now. I'll bring up Dab, and he grounded out to the first baseman, who flipped to the pitcher covering the bag. So it was McMahon to Garrow that first time up. And Davin, a lot of speed at the plate. Now it'll be off from the catcher's shin guard for a ball, and he'll go chase it down now. And I'll just set the defense for you. Again, Turio, Senecal, Allen. That's the outfield. Consolati, Mack, Booth, McMahon's the infield, and the batteries, Garrow and Howe. That's Rutland Town in the blue with the lead in the field defensively. Foul ball. And he got around and pulled it, but just couldn't bring it inside that line, and that'll be a strike to Troy Davin. And again, a great crowd here. I'm very thrilled to see that. Like I already mentioned, I covered MSJ's high school baseball. I covered American Legion Post 31 every home game again this season. And I did Legion games where you would not believe the lack of crowd support. And I don't want, somebody said one to me one time this season, they're like, well, people don't come, sit in the hot sun, blah, 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 because they wait and go watch it on Channel 15. Well, I think that's great. Really, I think it's more than great, but oh, just missed. Teasing him with that pitch, Garrow was. But just because I'm going to cover an event, you can still go to the event live, get the atmosphere and support the programs, and still go home and watch Channel 15. Strike 3. Oh, strike 2. Got ahead of myself. That was right there, so he couldn't pull the trigger on it. So Davin now will step back in the box from the right side. And that's going to be ball 4. Now, I got to tell you, I get as cranked up as the players do when I'm allowed to do an event, but especially a championship game. So now, with Davin at first and 1 down, you got to turn him loose on the base pass. Hammond is at the plate. He struck out back in the first. That was his only at bat. 2-1, and good stop on the backhand. Little scoop there by Rutland Town's Mike Howe, the catcher. Already getting, even though we're only in the 3rd, there goes the runner. He had a huge lead. And, yep, they're going to easily be in there. A nice try by the catcher, just trying to catch him fire. But Davin in with the stolen base. But I started to say, a lot of tension already, even though we're in the 3rd inning, top of the 3rd. You can feel how tight the dugouts are, and the fan base already yapping it up pretty good here. And now just fade outside a little bit too much from Joe Garrow. He's got a runner at second and the 1 down. The runner at second's Davin. He walked and then he stole second base. And that's going to be back-to-back walks. A lot of times your pitcher at these young ages will get distracted with the runner on base, and you kind of hurry up his mechanics, trying to limit the lead. And I believe we have our first visit by either team to the mound as Joe Garrow, Mike Howe, and his coaching staff are going to probably just remind them, you know, slow down your mechanics. Yeah, you got runners on first and second, but let's worry about putting the ball in the strike zone. Maybe for a strikeout be great, but more definitely so that they hit the ball and that great defense behind you can make a play, because they can't field a walk. And again, this is our first visit to the mound, and it was brief, but I'm sure it made a point. And again, the field in just impeccable condition here at St. Peter's Field. And it'll be my last broadcast from St. Peter's Field till next baseball season. It's a funny political thing, but after a decade of covering MSJ football, the new football coach won't allow me to cover, and this is going to be off the end of the glove on a great attempt. The runners had to hold up. You can see right there Davin being held at third base. There's a great attempt coming in on a diving try by Ben Senecal, but because there was a possibility of him making the catch, the runners had to hold up, and we have our first bases loaded jam of the game. Kyle Samersky up with the bases juiced for post 31. They're down 2-1, looking to change that though right now. There's a strike outside corner. Nice pitch by Garrow. He's got the one out. Possibility of the double play does exist. Force out at any base, and his first time up, he grounded out to Mike McMahon on that nice short hop play. No, not to diminish from this event, but just to make a statement about the upcoming football season. The MSJ football coach and the Rutland High School football coach will not allow me to cover their programs. I've been given a lot of reasons, and I've actually been told it's because I'm a clown and a joke, and that's why you don't see those football programs on Munger Vision, because they don't allow me to do it. They don't think about the community that backs those programs, that have been historically involved with those programs, that want to see it on 15. They're very narrow-minded like that. But you'll be seeing soccer and field hockey, and you're going to see a hit right here, and going to drive in a run. That's going to be at least one. Here comes two, and they're going to take the lead on that single up the middle, and you can see Samersky quickly and smartly going down to second base on the throw home. So post 31 will take their first lead as Davin came around to score, Hammond came around to score. O'Rourke will end up at third base, and Samersky will have 2 RBIs. That's a single, and he took second on the throw. Now Nate Swan up. He struck out in his only plate appearance, but it's now 3-2. Rutland post 31 over Rutland Town as they're able to get through here to Joe Garrow. And that will be a ball. Faded way too far. And just to finish the trifecta, it's the athletic director at Mill River. It's a football program that won't give me a spot to shoot inside the press area. They're going to go, and they got him in a pickle, They're going to get him running down here. They're going to make it the hard way. And he might get out of this thing because the spacing is a little off on the pickle play. Here comes the throw home. They're going to come up. I mean, they're executing defensively very well. And, yeah, he is going to be – everybody's going to be safe. Yeah, that had disaster written all over it. The play there, and it's easy to play from behind the camera, would have been you had 2 down, field the ball, throw to first. And actually, I've got to correct myself. There was only 1 out. So if you were throwing to first, you're thinking I would have gave up another run, but you would have got the out. Now you've got the bases reloaded. And Charles Gardner up, and he had a single and scored a run back in the second. And it's 3-2 Rutland post 31 over Rutland Town in the Junior Babe Ruth Championship game. And that's going to be ball right there. On deck after Gardner's Greg Roy. So Rutland post 31 able to really get some damage done here in the 3rd inning. And that's going to be past the catcher, but not – we actually hit the umpire, so kind of slowed down the progress of the ball. Didn't get far enough way to chance it. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 7th batter to come to the plate here in this 3rd inning. 3-2, the 2 runs for Rutland Town coming in the first. Rutland picking up a run in the second, and 2 so far here in this inning. And you can see he got down out of the way. And that will bring the run in, yeah. So another run, the 3rd of the inning, and Brian O'Rourke will cross the plate. They'll push runners up to first, second, and third again. And Greg Roy, who struck out in the second. And we're going to have the coach take the ball, and we'll have a pitching change, and I'll pick it up on the other side of the fade. Okay, so Joe Garrow goes to center field. That's number 6, Mike McMahon I have down, number 6. He went from first to pitcher. He's a lefty throwing out there left-handed, and I've lost track of Senecal. I think Senecal went to first defensively, but I'll try to catch up on all that. That'll be outside, and yeah, Senecal number 4. Went from center field to first base. So I try to catch up on all the changes here. Again, they don't get to use the PA system. That's going to be put into play, and there's going to be got one. Yeah, and the run came in. They get the out at second on the force out. So Samersky scores. Swan goes to third. Gardner is forced out. And Roy reaches on a fielder's choice. Now Mike Triller up. He had a double. His only time up. There goes the runner, and they're not going to throw down. You can see the runner head down there as Roy reaches second base on a steal. And that'll miss outside. You see that lefty's got that fade action going away from the left-handed hitter. 1, 2, 3, 4 runs in so far in the third. 5-2 Rutland post 31 with the lead over Rutland Town. Great pitch. McMahon with a very good pitch. Yes, he's got 2 down. Looking for that very elusive third out here. This could be it. They'll pick it up, flip to first, and the inning done, but Rutland post 31 able to put on 4 runs, lead 5-2 going into the bottom of the third. Nate Swan finishing up his warm-ups. He has struck out the last 4 Rutland Town players he has faced, starting with Allen, Booth, Terrio, Pennington. He's looking at the top of the order, and Consolati right now. Consolati doubled and eventually scored the game's first run. That'll be outside for a ball. So we have a 5-2 game. Rutland Town with a 2-0 lead at the end of 1 inning of play. They had a 2-1 lead at the end of 2, and then that 4-run third. That's going to be off from the glove and backhand, and it's going to be a base hit. I'm going to go base hit unofficially for Consolati. You know, my book is irrelevant. That was a hard shot up the middle, touched by the pitcher. Changed directions for the second baseman down there, Grenier. Now Mike Howup, remember he had that beautiful sacrifice bunt. So runner at first being held on over there by Max Battles. And that's a good pitch. Strike. Again, I really can't see this being a blowout either way, and I expect it to be a heavyweight fight where each team just, one goes ahead, one catches up. One goes ahead, one catches up. At 5-2, the pitch on the way. And that's going to be toward the hole. Davin! Bad hop at the very end of that. Almost like it hit the seam on the front half of that dirt infield, and unfortunately, I'm going to unofficially have to give him an error on that play. But the first 2 batters here of the third inning reach base. Now Mike McMahon up. He had an RBI and a double, and he scored a run. He's now the pitcher for Rutland Town. He's got a chance to cut into that Rutland post 31 lead. Oh, he liked that first pitch. Might have rushed it. Going to be caught, and did he hold it? As you can see, Davin getting out of the way of Samersky, and they check with each other. Yeah, Samersky a big guy, and no harm. Nobody got hurt, and they did get the out. The runner's unable to move up, and now Eric Mack up. He walked his first time up. Runner's still at first and second, but 1 down now is the difference. And that pitch came too far inside and probably was a little bit too low. Nope, we'll have soccer action for you. Randy Chadburn's Mill River Girls Squad down there. I'll be covering that. Lori McClellan's Rutland Women's Program. And, of course, Kirk Abrahamson's Rutland Boys Soccer Team. And I'll be taking a look at the field hockey team. Have some of that on for you also. So that pitch will miss, and we will see now as Swan trying to preserve that 5-2 lead. See if he can work himself out of a little bit of a problem here. We're in the bottom of the third, scheduled for at least 7, and ball stays right in front of the catcher, and you can see that Hammond was all set to pick up and fire if they tried to advance on. that outfield of Roy, O'Rourke, and Triller, all good arms out there as far as the base hit, trying to score the runner from second base, even though Consolati with very good speed out there at second. So Swan will miss high, and he'll walk the bases full now. Well, with that walk, the bases will be full. He didn't walk the bases full. When Rutland Town in good position after giving up those 4 runs in the third to come right back and answer that. And Joe Garrows, who I have up in this slot. Remember, they switched a lot of people around, but we're going to have Rick Battles come out and talk. It'll be the first conference with his pitcher, and he will try to settle down Nate Swan. Also the catcher Hammond out there. And oh, this is critical. This is big moments in the games when you get to these points. So it's a brief conversation, and that will send now to the plate Joe Garrow. He reached on an error back in the first. We're in the bottom of the third, and you're watching the Junior Babe Ruth Championship game on your community television, your sports leader actually in Rutland County, Channel 15, Munger Vision. Force out at any base. That's the only good, one of the good sides of this. Boy, did he have a rip at that. He liked that pitch, and Garrow had a cut at it. There is the 1 down. And don't forget, even though the bases are loaded, that increases the combinations, ways to put together a double play. And he's done that a couple times, and we see the catcher hustling not to allow the runner to score from third base on that wild pitch, but he's dropped down sidearm now. It's the 3rd time. He's thrown it for a strikeout once. The other 2 times kind of didn't really have control of it. Now, I don't know the pitching staff as far as if Swan gets in trouble and can't get out of it, who they would bring in next, but he's working on it right now. That righty will be high. Can't believe he could be out of juice in the 3rd. Could be a little bit more a psychological, mechanical thing. But he's already had the 1 visit to the mound. Nice stop again on a backhand short hop by Hammond. Rutland post 31 in his Junior Babe Ruth title game, wearing the red uniforms. They're out in the field defensively right now. Rutland Town in the dark blue, and there are the guys. They've got the bases loaded offensively. Long look in, and he's gone right back to the full windup, which a lot of pitchers do with the bases loaded, and he will walk in a run. So Consolati will score. Howe goes to 3rd, Mack the 2nd, and down at first base is Garrow. That'll bring up Ben Senecal, who reached on the fielder's choice, and 2nd visit to the mound by Coach Battles, and that will be it for Swan this afternoon. Okay, a lot of changes. Troy Davin has gone from shortstop to pitcher. Ryan Hammond has gone from catcher to center field. Nate Swan has gone from pitcher to catcher. And Brian Rourke's gone from center field to shortstop. And I believe that's where we're at. 1 run in, it's 5-3. Rutland post 31 over Rutland Town. And Ben Senecal up with the bases loaded and just the 1 out still. It's Troy Davin. Got a little help right there from Senecal, who knew it. Taking a chop at 1 around the eyebrows. Strike 1 on the swing. Howe's at 3rd. Max at 2nd. Garrow is at 1st. And that one will not get far enough away from the catcher Swan to do any damage. So it's a 1-1 count. Davin covered him in the Glazic tournament a few years ago. An outstanding basketball player. Good football player. I'm sure he's just one of those athletes, no matter what you put him in for a team, what a sport, he's going to do great at it. That's going to be down to 3rd. They're going to come home, and there's it's a force-out play. Nice job. Very smart play by Samersky. The throw home, and Swan did the tag, but he just really, all you really need to do is just step on a base. That's a big out. They get Howe out at home base. As I'm just trying to do my math. Force out 5-2. Base is still loaded. Fielder's choice number 2 for Senecal. And Drew Allen up. Drew Allen struck out. He was part of a run of 4 strikeouts in a row by the starting pitcher, Nate Swan. Troy Davin on relief, trying to put the fire out right now. Strike. Beautiful location. So Davin will be up 0-1 in the count. Rutland Town, if they only punch in that 1 run here in this inning, you'll have to put a bookmark here to mark this moment in the ball game. Bottom of the 3rd, and a chance for a big inning. And there's the bunt. I love it. I love it. And they're going to flip home and just got him. It was again, it wasn't a tag. It was a force. So get the out. Gutsy call on the suicide squeeze, but Rutland Post 31 does surrender the 1 run. It's 5-3 Post 31 with lead over Rutland Town as we go to the top of the 4th. So we start at the top of the 4th. Max Battles up there. He flying out to the 3rd baseman. Takes a strike right there. We do have a defensive change that I picked up on late here, but I did pick it up. Nick Pennington has gone in to play right field in place of Scott Terrio. And that's going to be over the head for a ball. Battles, Grenier, and Dab and do up. A run in the 2nd and 4 in the 3rd, and that's where we're at for offense for Post 31. Oh, and they went up and got it. It's going to be hit right back to McMahon. He'll flip the first, get the out. So a 1-3 ground out will get the leadoff batter out here. And now Grenier, who grounded out to 2nd base, and at the time it was Taylor Booth. And like I said, he represents the bottom of the order. Now put Davin on deck, top of the order, and that's going to be Wild. Pitch for a ball. It has been everything I anticipated. Close game, a wild game, a lot of good plays, a lot of great plays. You're watching young men playing baseball. That's going to be ball 2. So Mike McMahon came on in relief last inning to Joe Garrow. He's got 1 down, and the base is cleared. And he's in danger, though, of issuing a walk to Grenier. Getting a lot of stuff happening in a very short period of time here. It will be a walk on Channel 15. So 1 out, 1 on, top of the order. Now Davin has grounded out 3-1, walked and scored in the 3rd. Like I said, you've got the Pumpkin Princess and her court that will be coming on in October. The Halloween parade brought to you live on Channel 15, obviously on Halloween. The Really Big Show 11, November 4th, the first Saturday in November. I mean, you go through this list and all kinds of big events brought to you on community television, public access. Also, you're watching the Junior Babe Ruth Championship, but you'll also see, if you have not seen it already, the Senior Babe Ruth Championship. So McMahon trying to get out of this wild streak right now and find the plate. Like that. That's a nice pitch. Yeah, he's got an excellent defense behind him, but you got to give him a chance to field the ball. 5-3 Rutland Post 31 with the lead over Rutland Town. There's a trophy ceremony. There goes the runner. It's going to be tough. They'll never even throw down. Yeah. That would have been a tough one. It was tough for the catcher to handle. There was no way he could really muster up a throw. And Grenier down at 2nd base now. Puts himself in scoring position. And he's going to be at 3rd base in a second. And yeah, that was another wild pitch. It's strange that McMahon's missing so high. I mean, it's obviously a mechanical problem. It has a lot to do with follow through. And it's remedied as something as simple as making sure the front foot comes point forward and you actually do bend your back and almost scrape your hand on the ground. And he'll issue another walk, and we'll have 1st and 3rd now on back-to-back walks. And Ryan Hammond, he has struck out and walked and scored. So Rutland Town already into their 2nd pitcher of the game. We're in the 4th inning. The runner will go down and they will concede the base. And they'll put him at 2nd and 3rd now. Brian O'Rourke, the on-deck hitter for Rutland Post 31. In the red uniforms out there in the offensive end of the field. And boy, right now, Mike McMahon having a lot of problems from the stretch. You know, I always felt, too, if you felt better pitching from the full windup, I really don't care what the situation is on the bases. I'd go back to where I could throw a strike, whether it was a full windup, and that gives the base runners a few extra steps of trying to steal, because you got to throw strikes. And I don't mean strikes like strike 3, blow it by them. I mean in the strike zone where you put the bat on the ball, your defense has a chance to make a play, because I've never seen a defender yet field a walk. And, well, that's going to do it. Base is loaded with 1 out on 3 straight walks. And O'Rourke coming up. He has 2 singles and scored a run. And here comes one of the Rutland Town head coaches now. I said, I believe, and I'm conjecturing, they would love just to have him somehow nurse himself through this inning. I don't think they want to go to a third pitcher, but I couldn't tell if he's making a sign or a signal. No, he's sticking with him. Okay, so they're going to stick with McMahon. And oh my, a couple things going through McMahon's head. Love to throw a double play ball right here, get out of the inning with no damage done, or at least a strikeout or a pop-up on the infield where you couldn't get the run home, but he's got a tough guy at the plate in O'Rourke. He'll jump on that first pitch and drive it through the hole. 1 run in, and they're going to send the runner home, and that's going to be 2 more runs. And, oh, head first slide, cloud of dust, everything cool. Oh, O'Rourke with a 3-for-3 day. And he took second base on the throw to third. Davin scores. I got to catch up. Grenier scores. So 2 more RBI. So 2 RBIs for O'Rourke. That's fouled off, and I got to catch up now to Kyle Smirski, who drove in 2 RBIs his last time up. He's also grounded out to first base. So it's 7-3 now. And McMahon got all this trouble with the walks. Runners at second and third. First base is open. Not that you want to put the runner on first, but takes a little pressure off you if you miss and you walk somebody, that you do have the base open. Nate Swan is the on-deck hitter. And Smirski dancing away from that one. It came inside and he spun away, and it's going to be a ball. There's been 1 visit to the mound already by a coach. The next time a coach comes out, it'll be to make the pitching change. Joe Garrow started. Mike McMahon took over. We're in the 4th. It is 7-3 Rutland. Post 31 over Rutland Town. And again, McMahon got to kind of pick himself up here. His body language looking a little bit deflated. And that's going to be up the middle. A base hit. You can see 1 run coming in. That's run number 8. Here comes another run in, and number 9, and over at first base with a nice piece of hitting is Smirski. So he's driven in a bunch of runs today. He's driven in 4 RBIs. 2 the first time up, 2 this time. And now Nate Swan up. He reached on a fielder's choice his last time up. And he's also struck out. So this has turned into a 4-run 4th. They had a 4-run 3rd and 1 in the 2nd. 9 runs. And, oh, he had him. He dropped the ball. Contact on the tag. And the ball popped, and Smirski showing some good juice there. Some good juice in those legs. And Nate Swan with a runner in scoring position. And still just the 1 down. I don't know if they're short on pitchers, but they're sure giving McMahon a lot of time here. Trying to work through this. That's right to first base. There's the tag. There's 2 down. Runner does advance. Smirski very smartly took third. Now, smartly because wild pitch, anything like that over at third base can score you. You don't need a base hit. Charles Gardner up. He has singled, scored, and walked. He's the 8th batter to come to the plate here in the 4th inning. They have seen the lead expand now. There's a strike. To 9-3. But the importance of getting Smirski over to third on that ground ball out to first, like I said, is it puts a lot of pressure on pitcher-catcher for a wild pitch, pass, ball. puts pressure on your infield on a routine ground ball. You know you got to make the play, because if you don't, the runner's going to score from third. With 2 outs, he's running on everything. This is a shot. This is a shot, and that's going to score another one. That's going to be at least a double, taking second, and he's got the motor running, cutting the bag, going to third base, and the throw coming in. Got him. He'll drive the run in, but he will be out. He hit that 1.5 miles. Gardner with another RBI, but he'll be tagged out at third, and it's going to be, I've got to check my math, I think 10-3, post 31. Do have some defensive changes, but it's going to take me a second to get to them, okay? So Davin on the mound will be pitching to Taylor Booth. Well, he liked that pitch. Swung through it, strike one. Okay, I got Matt Messier is in right field. Mike Triller has moved to left. Robert Garuso, 22, has gone into play second. That's going to be a little dinker back to Davin. He'll pick it up and throw to Battles at first. We'll have a 1-3 ground out to start things off defensively here for Rutland Post 31. And it should be Scott Theriot up. Nope, we're going to... Remember, they made a defensive switch, and I've got to go back and pick up who this possibly could be. Strike called. Nick Pennington. Nope. Oh, if it's 15, it's going to be Big Shea. They're going to call that a strike outside corner. So I'm going to go with Mac Shea. He's the only sub they had. And I think that's a number 5. He's number 15, but I can only see part of his jersey. And that's going to be inside-out swing. And, yeah, that's what it is, number 15, Mac Shea. Got a lot of pop in his bat. He's got one down, nobody on. And then Pennington is the on-deck hitter. Pennington on deck. Good job of holding up. That was a tough pitch to hold up on, and Davin trying to get him to swing at that. And so Hammond, Messier, and Triller, the outfield now for post 31. And that's a third strike drop. They'll pick it up and throw him out. So record that as a strikeout, and then a 2-3. 2 down, nobody on, and now Pennington up. He struck out in the second. He was part of that string of 4 strikeouts in a row for the starting pitcher at the time, which was Nate Swan. Swan's now the catcher. That's a swing and a miss, and the top of the order, Consolati's on deck. Consolati, if he gets up, he's had a double and a single. He scored 2 runs today, as it's now 10-3, Rutland Post 31 with the lead. That's a strike at the knee. Post 31 fell behind 2-0 at the end of 1 inning, trailed 2-1 at the end of 2, and then took the lead and haven't relinquished it since the 3rd on. That's put into play and rides up the arm. Oh, nice grab by Samersky. He spins around. What a dig out by Battles. Samersky with the spinorama movement, and Battles with a nice dig out. That's the 1-2-3 inning, and it'll stay 10-3, post 31. And it'll be Mike McMahon still on the mound as we go to the top of the 5th, and he's going to be looking at Greg Roy, Mike Triller, and Max Battles, unless there's a change in there, but that's what I'm looking at. I know we plugged a lot of different people in for post 31 defensively, and this looks to be catchable. And it is catchable. That's why it looked at. Nice job. 1 pitch, 1 down. That was taken out there by, I know it's number 4, but I just got to find him again where he starts. Senecal, Ben Senecal. Now Triller up, if indeed it is Triller. Like I said, they don't use the PA, and that's a shot. And going to be off the end of Garrow's glove. That could turn into, no, they're going to think about sending him, and he'll go back down. That is Triller number 2. That's why I was trying to zoom in tight so I could see the jersey number. A great effort by Garrow. Thought he was going to come up with it, but he did just an inch longer arm. Now Battles up. He's 0 for 2. He's flying out to third base and grounded out to the pitcher. But boy, he's really shown in the field with his glove, especially that last play that he scooped out of the dirt. And there's a strike. You have him stepping back, but the ball broke back in, nipped the corner, and we're going to have a runner at first base with 1 down. 0-1 to count to Battles. Runner going and just a foul. Yeah, he was protecting the plate for the runner attempting to make the steal. And one thing that Post 31 has really done obviously well here is they've taken advantage of their speed and they've moved runners along, forcing the issue, manufacturing some, like Triller going to second base. Got everybody moving around the infield. That could open the hole for Battles to hit the ball through. I like the aggressive base running. He wastes no time in going again. Battles went up and got that, and that's going to be a tough play. Picked up, sets, fires, and got him! Oh, great play to get the out. They do get the runner to second base. And that was just a big-time play. I'm just looking for his jersey number. And yeah, it stays number 10, Taylor Booth. Okay, it looked like a 19 with the wind blowing on his jersey, but it's Booth showing you some tremendous range. And now Grenier due up. But I think this is going to be Garuso. Yeah, it's going to be Garuso up there for the first time. He'll hit from the left side. Garuso came in, played defensively the last inning. Now he's getting his swings in here as he's got him and his team up 10-3, and that's going to be a little bit too high. And 2 down, runner at second, and it's really important as we get to the 5th, 6th, 7th inning here that Rutland Town get a defensive stop and keep the score at just 10-3 so they can start working on their chipping away that lead. They'll be outside for a ball. Good eye by Garuso. And again, with a runner at second, the first baseman obviously is not holding anybody on. He's able to fill up the hole a little bit more between first and second. That pitch got away from McMahon and came inside too far for a ball. I'll tell you what, the crowd that's here, that's a big crowd. Seen a heck of a ball game. Nice job by the catcher. Even on the walk, he went up and got it, so the runner at second couldn't advance. But Caruso will walk, and top of the order should be Troy Davin now. Again, you're watching the championship game for the Junior Babe Ruth title. Rutland Town in the blue uniforms out there defensively right now. And Rutland Post 31 in the red uniforms at the plate. And Davin laid off from that pitch that was above the belt. Actually almost let her high for a ball. Channel 15, PEGTV.com. That's the website. 747-0151. That's the phone number. And the pickoff play, runners back safe at second base. Eric Mack applying the tag, but it was too late, and Triller was back ahead of the throw. Good pitch. Excellent pitch. We'll even things up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Ryan Hammond is the on-deck hitter. Davin today has scored 2 runs. He's walked twice. He's also grounded out. And it'll be high, and, well, we got a problem. They're going to have the runner. It was a double steal, and, yeah, They did not really execute that well. They had 2 runners on second base almost, and right now Triller will just wear him down and got him. What a mess, but they'll get the out. They will not get any runs in. It'll stay 10-3. Rutland Post 31 with the lead. I think what happened, and I'm conjecturing here, but I think what happened on that play that ended the offensive inning for Rutland Post 31 was a double steal because there was nowhere for the lead runner on that play. There was a runner standing, his teammate was standing at second. He couldn't go back to second. Originally he had to, got in a pickle play and he finally got tagged out. But what was important right there, and that's going to be the third, picked up, and Samursky will have it to Battles. A 5-3 ground out, and Samursky splashed some decent leather out there. As they got Consolati, I didn't get a chance to tell you, it's the first time they got Consolati out today. He's had a double and a single prior to that. He scored 2 runs. Now Mike Howe up. Howe's laid down a sacrifice bunt, and he's also reached on an error. But no, I'm sorry, I say Rutland Town, just like in basketball terminology, they needed a defensive stop there. They couldn't really give up any more runs, and they got out of that inning with no runs scored. So we're in the bottom of the 5th, scheduled for 7, at least 7, and it's 10-3, Rutland Post 31 with the lead over Rutland Town. Post 31 with the red uniforms on, and that's going to be foul. Yeah, Samursky, very impressive looking player with the bat, with the glove, with the instincts between the ears. And a gorgeous day for baseball. And a better day to be home watching Channel 15. Best seat in the house. Nope. the hitter, will completely get out of the way of that, as that never really did what Davin, the pitcher, wanted it to do. It was 2-0 Rutland Town at the end of 1 inning. 2-1 Rutland Town with the lead at the end of 2. There's a strike. And then a 4-run third gave Post 31 their first lead, and they haven't let up. They had it's actually a strikeout. So Hal strikes out, and that's 2 down now. And Mike McMahon up. He has doubled. He has an RBI, and he popped up to the shortstop. And Davin will have him ducking out of the way. Ball 1. So Post 31's had a 1-run second, a 4-run third, and a 5-run fourth. They got shut out in the 5th. And it'll be nubbed off the 5th foul. The Junior Babe Ruth Championships, what's at stake right here today, and old rivals get together, Rutland Town and Rutland City, both sponsored by Aldermans. I'd like to thank Aldermans for their community contribution here. You're watching Channel 15, Public Access Television, PEGTV, Munger Vision. And that's going to be a tough play. They'll have to charge it and scoop the fire, and nope. It's also going to be out of play. The runner will be awarded second base. He will not have to worry about being thrown there. And that was just going to be a tough play all the way around. And again now, lots of rallies start with 2 down. Like they have right here, runner at second. And Eric Mack up. He's walked twice today. But Mack due for hitting that bat, and he will watch that pitch outside for a ball. Good eye right there. Down at second base is Mike McMahon. Mack's at the plate. Joe Garrow's on deck. Rutland Town looking to chip away at that deficit right now. As Davin will deliver a strike and even to count out at 1 ball, 1 strike. And you know it's going to get tight, the game is, before it's over here. Oh, great pitch. And that gets by the catcher, and they will hold the runners up, whether by design or by mistake, but they didn't advance McMahon down to third base. Swan's your catcher. He was your starting pitcher. And it's going to be toward the hole at short. Picked up, long throw coming up, and got him! So they'll strand 1. They didn't get a runner across, and Post 31 coming up to the plate with the lead, 10-3 over Rutland Town. Well, same scenario. You know, Rutland Town down at 10-3 score. Got to come up with another 0 here. They got to come up with another scoreless inning for Rutland Post 31. And they go to the top of the order, Troy Davin. Remember, he was up there when the pickle play started. And he will have pitch inside for a ball. Brian O'Rourke made that last play at shortstop for Post 31, where they had the 6-3 ground out. And Brian O'Rourke looked real good out there at the shortstop position. There's a bunt right to the pitcher. He will scoop, turn, fire, and have... Oh, they dropped the ball. Safe. And it came back. You can't come back and re-tag him because he hadn't turned toward the inside portion of the field like he was trying to advance. He was dead area right there. So an error will put Davin on first base. Oh, those are the things that just drive you nuts. Ryan Hammond up now in a 10-3 game, and good speed at first. And a good guy who at the plate can handle the bat. We'll see what they come up with here for some strategy. Good catch behind the plate there by Mike Howe. Going up, chasing it outside. We're in the top of the 6th, and Rutland Post 31 looking to take that Junior Babe Ruth Championship home today. There goes the runner. The throw coming down. Got him! Oh, what a job by Eric Mack to grab the ball on the high bounce and then snap as quick as he could down the tag. It was the quickness of the tag that got him out. So now there is 1 down, nobody on, and Ryan Hammond at the plate. He's walked twice today, and he scored 2 runs. He's also struck out. That could be a bigger play right there than you think. Like I said, they need to keep the score at just what it is. They don't really need any more of a lead to overcome. And that will be a walk, and Hammond will go down to first base. Now Brian O'Rourke up. He has had 3 singles an RBI, and he scored 2 runs. So he's been his typical productive self. And he's done a nice job both in center field and at shortstop when he got moved. Of course, last year in tackle football at the Rec, he had that broken leg, and he has seemed to come back from that and recover very nicely. Oh, they got a hit and run on, and it's going to be a base hit. Runner should take third, and here he is. He's motoring and chugging, and he's going to be in there. Hammond will get to third base, and a nice piece of hitting. Brian O'Rourke with yet another base hit. Again, just a very special athlete, Brian is. But they had to hit and run on or a steal and try and protect him. But O'Rourke reached to the outside corner, went with the pitch. Oh, he just beat that one back. They almost picked him off. But the pitch was on the outside low corner of the plate. And O'Rourke, a right-handed hitter, went down and went to that side of the field with it. Just a beautiful piece of hitting. And this is Kyle Swimerski up. He has 4 RBI, Swimerski does today. And got him on. They're going to call him out at the plate. And they will not throw down to third. O'Rourke will go to third. And I'll tell you what, they're living right on the edge right now, Rutland Town is. I mean, they're teasing you with giving up, almost giving up a run. But then they turn around and pull off a play like that. So Nate Swan up, and boy, I'll tell you what, they're going to concede the stolen base. I didn't even bring it down to show you that Swimerski went into second base. Swan has struck out, reached on a fielder's choice, and grounded out to first base. And McMahon desperately searching for that third out, and again, keeping the score where it is, not letting it get any worse. It's a 10-3 right now. Rutland post 31 with the lead at the plate, and they're trying to put those proverbial final nails in the coffin here. They've had some chances to put some runs on the board this inning and have yet to do so. And close. Must have wrapped around the plate, but didn't get the call. It'll be a ball. It's been an extremely well umpired game, as was the senior Babe Ruth game. That's going to be hard to second, and he stayed with it, and a throw, and they're going to get out of the inning. Taylor Booth got the ball over to Senecal, and they'll come in to bat now in the bottom of the 6th. Rutland Town will down 10-3. Rutland Town getting down to what could be their final 6 outs of the contest. Have got to come up with some runs here in the bottom of the 6th, down 10-3. Joe Garrow up. And I missed it because I was looking, but Swimerski made another great play and a good throw. Swimerski, just an extremely impressive baseball player out there. I'm sorry I was late on that movement, but like I said, I was just looking down at my book and it happened so fast. Garrow's retired. And now Ben Senecal, he's reached on a fielder's choice twice. Troy Davin still on the mound for Rutland Post 31 in his junior Babe Ruth championship game. And that'll be a ball. It's got away from Swan, the catcher. Again, that's... I just want to check and make sure that really is. That's Battles. Max Battles over at first base. Robert Caruso's at second. Brian O'Rourke's at short. Kyle Swimerski is at third. Nate Swan's your catcher. Troy Davin's the pitcher. Do the outfield just a second for you. Strike called. Matt Messier is the right fielder. Ryan Hammond is in center. And that still looks like Mike Triller in left. And that's going to be right at Davin. Protects himself and will throw to first for the second out. Boy, he had to catch that. Come back up the middle, or he would have probably eaten the ball. Nice job. Great reflexes by Davin. Now Drew Allen up. He has struck out and reached on a fielder's choice. Swing and a miss, and that'll be strike one. Did get away from the catcher, and he'll retrieve the ball. So 2 down very quickly here in the bottom of the 6th in Rutland Town. Has done the job defensively the last 2 innings as they have shut out Post 31 in the 5th and the 6th. The unfortunate problems from the 2nd to the 4th, they gave up 10 runs. And that will curve back in, but not far enough to get the call. And it had the hitter at that point, Drew Allen, ducking out of the way. So Davin. Foul ball strike. I remember Troy Davin a few years ago in the Glossic basketball tournament was just outstanding in that. said multiple sports players, all these guys are. And that's going to be O'Rourke. He will stay down, set up, make the accurate throw, and nice scoop by Max Battles. And again, a 1-2-3 inning for Rutland Post 31, just 3 outs away from the championship. Ball 1 from the new pitcher for Rutland Town, Eric Mack. So Eric Mack is out there right now pitching, and boy, there's a lot of changes. See if I can even begin remotely. Senecal has gone into play shortstop, number 4. That's going to be ball 2. Taylor Booth looks like he's still over at second, and looks like McMahon has gone back to first. Terry Oates gone to left. Garrow's still in center. Good pitch. So Eric Mack, who started this whole afternoon off at shortstops, moved into pitch. He's the 3rd pitcher for Rutland Town. And in the top of the 7th, it doesn't even need to be said, but I got to fill up airtime. You got home scoreless for the 3rd consecutive inning. Come up to the bottom of the 7th. You're down 10-3. You're going to need 7 runs to keep this thing going. 8 runs to win it. Not impossible. But it really starts right here. You can't give up any more runs, make that deficit even larger to overcome going into the bottom of the 7th. You know, look at it. It was at the 9 runs, the 4 and the 3rd and the 5 and the 4th that really kind of set the tone. And there's going to be a walk to the leadoff hitter. Well, I didn't tell you, it's Charles Gardner. I'm sorry. Or I believe that was Charles Gardner. In Greg Roy's spot. That's going to be to the, see the nice play by Mack. He'll turn firing. Just does get him. And that was Messier, so I want to correct that. Matt Messier hitting right there. Almost able to leg it out. So Triller due up now, and he's had a double and a single. Very impressive out there for Rutland Post 31. And there's a strike. Runner at second, and the 1 out. We're in the top of the 7th, scheduled for 7. And boy, did he go up and get that. Oh, nice grab. Nice grab coming in and catching it basket style. Right there, a good play. That's the kind of play that can turn into a disaster real quick for you, as that was Senecal that came in and made that play. So 2 outs. Runner stays at second. And Max Battles up. And that's going to be fouled off. Stays foul for a strike. Now, I'm looking because in my book it says Battles, but I've got to be honest with you, it doesn't look like him. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. But when they turn, I'll be able to see the jersey number, hopefully. Got him! Oh, the ball broke back in and around. And that'll be a strikeout that'll end the inning. And quick work there by Taylor Booth. And I'm looking, I believe that's going to be 17. So 3 outs away from the championship is Post 31. Okay, the last batter for Post 31, which I didn't identify right away, was number 17, Cody Badgley. And now he's gone into play right field. Matt Messier has gone into center, and Steve Tile is in left. Caruso's at second. Davin's still on the mound. I'll try to pick up some more pieces here for you as we get going. Swan's still the catcher, and that's cranked. And Tile will play it on the bounce and get it in. As you can see the base hit over there. And again, comebacks start somewhere. That could be the start of the comeback as we're in the bottom of the 7th. Taylor Booth with the base hit. Now, they had Shea hit here before for Terriot, but I think it'll be Terriot back up there now because he was re-entered into the ball game defensively. Throw the first, runners back safe. Over at first base, I'm unsure who that is for Post 31. Gonna have to wait and see a jersey number. There goes the runner, and the bunt's going to be fair, and it's going to be a tough play. Davin. Oh, nice scoop. Good throw. They're going to throw to second, and they got him in a pickle. Caruso, see him chasing him down. Got him. Double play. The bunt was beautiful, and Caruso just stayed right with him and got the tag out, and that's double play. And now just 1 out away from the championship. And Nick Pennington up. or in my book should be up. Well, see, they got that leadoff single. They got the bunt down, the runners at second, and then they got doubled up. There's a strike from Davin in there. 0-1 to count. Target on the outside corner and the pitch on the inside part. But, hey, they got the result they wanted. A strike 0-2 from Davin. Post 31, leading 10-3 in the bottom of the 7th, looking to take the Junior Babe Ruth Championship right here on Channel 15 at St. Peter's Field. And he'll have it, and that's going to be the game. Davin will end it all with a strikeout. He came on in relief of Nate Swan and pitched very well. And again, there'll be a trophy ceremony. I'm going to just fade down while they get the trophies all set up. But congratulations to Post 31 in the Junior Babe Ruth bracket as they defeat Rutland Town 10-3. They overcome a 2-run deficit, a 2-0 deficit after 1 inning, and they go on to score 10 runs. So as they go to the handshakes, I will get set and we'll have the trophy ceremony. Well, I don't see any trophies getting set here. And I'm looking. So I'm going to assume that this is the end of the game. And you can see the teams dispersing. But it was a 10-3 win in Junior Babe Ruth Championship for Post 31 over Rutland Town. Real team effort. I've had to look at the hitting, the fielding, all that. Tremendous team effort. Congratulations to Post 31. A great effort by Rutland Town. And the Junior Babe Ruth champions are Post 31 and Rutland. Now, see, they're hanging around. And two things will happen. Either I'll come back up from the fade, and we'll have trophies, or you won't hear from me again, and it'll just be a championship for Post 31. But again, get out there, support your student athletes, support your youth programs in the area. I always support public access television, and the big one, I always support Munger Vision. Probably should have been, but I wasn't. This is game 1 of double elimination. That's why there was no trophies, because Rutland Post 31 is taking a 1-0 lead in games. All they have to do is win the next time they play, which I know are tape delayed, but it'll be Tuesday. So if they win that, they'll take the championship, have the trophies then. So what they did, they took game number 1 of a 3-game series. And I should have done my homework, but I'm getting old. I'm getting senile. But, hey, still congratulations to Post 31. Rutland Town will regroup, try to come back, and hopefully the weather will cooperate and we'll be able to get it to you here on Channel 15.